was 6 years old, I broke my leg. And I was running from my brother and his friends, and tasted the sweet perfume of the mountain grass I rolled down. I was younger then. Take me back to when I found my heart, broke it here, made friends and lost them through the years. And I've not seen the boring fields in so long. I know I've grown, but I can't wait to go home. I'm on my way, driving at 90 down those country lanes, singing to Tiny Dancer, and I miss the way you make me feel. It's real. We watch the sunset over the castle lonely. 15 years old and smoking hand-rolled cigarettes, running from the law through the backfields and getting drunk with my friends. Had my first kiss on a Friday night. I don't reckon that I did it right, but I was younger then. Take me back to when we found weekend jobs, and when we got paid, we'd buy cheap spirits and drink them straight. Me and my friends have not thrown up in so long. Oh, how we've grown, but I can't wait to go home. I'm on my way, driving at 90 down those country lanes, singing to Tiny Dancer, and I miss the way you make me feel. It's real. We watch the sunset over the castle.
Sometimes we take that shit for granted.
Over the castle lonely hill. Over the castle lonely hill.
Well, I forgot we were doing this today. I've done my hair. Not an issue for you.
No, that is true. But I'm probably more violent when it's necessary.
He's getting rid of it. He's just burning it up, isn't he?
It looks like a piece of cheese. You're warming your hands in the fire. What's going to happen? They're going to melt. Toasted cheese.
Well, I would have just seen him. That's not true. He's read it and he's not liking what he's been told, burning it and just getting rid of it. I don't know. But yeah, he is a bit of cheese, so he will melt, won't he? Yeah, I don't know.
Don't know. Horse size.
Oh, sorry.
Do you want to introduce yourselves?
Not really.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Cohen.
You all know who we are.
No, I'm not going first.
Okay, I'm Mr. Blades.
I'm Miss McNeil.
Hello, my name is Mr. Lansley Gordon.
Do you not know who we are? This is Michael J. Bennett.
This is Blair Abella.
You probably should know that.
It kind of clashes with your jumper.
This I got from a builder who was clearing a building over there, and then we're going to throw it in the rubbish dump. I'm like, can I have it? And they said yes.
Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
The first one.
100 duck-sized
100,
horses.
yeah.
You can just stamp on a lot of them.
They're tiny.
They won't hurt you. One horse-sized duck.
That's
Is that what you said?
terrifying.
That is scary.
Are we on our own?
Yeah.
Just me?
Yeah.
I don't stand a hope against either of those.
What's the mass of a duck compared to a horse? I don't think 100 ducks makes up a horse. I think the 100 duck-sized horses is like unquestionably the answer. We're talking total mass here. What's a duck, like a kilo? I could take on 100 kilos worth of horse.
One horse-sized duck that you could obviously stand on its webbed feet because it's only got two. And it's only one mouth to avoid.
I just think 100 things are going to crowd you. I don't want them all climbing onto me.
I would take one horse-sized duck because ducks aren't scary.
I reckon I stand a greater chance against one thing than 100.
There you go. Maths.
one horse-sized duck. You know, you get overtaken by an army of little minions, wouldn't you? So that would be too much to deal with.
I would say one horse-sized duck, for sure.
One horse-sized dog.
Who of the teachers would win and who would lose the Hunger Games?
Well, I'm afraid it might be me.
Win or lose?
Win.
Mrs. Lawson would win, only because we think Mr. Lawson would fall on his sword for her.
I don't know. I just feel like if it's a question of like who's going to win,
But I think
it's probably just.
he'd probably.
I just think he'd like sit down and come up with a really good strategy. Everyone else would be running around panicking. He'd have like analysed it really carefully. He'd have a spreadsheet.
I was thinking about this, so I think clearly Team Maths would be a team and wipe out everyone else first. I mean, they'd obviously pick off the easy people first. I couldn't possibly say who that is, but you know, all the non-mathematicians.
He's already thought about all of our weaknesses.
It's true. He does. He knows all our strengths and weaknesses.
We decided Dr. Chu would probably lose. Not because he isn't amazing, he's too nice.
No, I think Dr. Chu is...
He's a bit too nice for the Hunger Games.
He's too nice.
Oh, Dr. Chu.
Or Mr. Bennett, by the way. I was going to say Mr. Bennett.
Mr. Bennett.
Yeah.
I think Mr. Bennett might win.
I think
he's ruthless.
He's not going to hold back in that situation. He's going to rationalise. And I'm like, I need to be there for my children.
Probably because of Baby Anna and Daniel.
Same for different reasons.
It's not because he loves his children.
No, I just thought I could see a ruthless streak in him.
Who'd lose?
Probably me.
Except what I was going to say.
I think I'm just... Yeah. At least we're agreed.
I don't really back myself.
I can't see Mr. Jones being too horrible in this. He's so nice.
Who would you most like to bump into at a club?
No one, literally no one. It's my worst nightmare. I basically stopped clubbing when I became a teacher. I don't want there to be any possibility of bumping into any student I've ever taught. No.
We don't want to see anyone.
None of them. I wouldn't like to go to a club, so that's that one.
No one. I think that's the simple
Like,
answer.
literally no
I
one.
think the simple answer is no one. That's the professional and real answer.
Yeah. None of you. Literally none of you.
That would be awful.
Like, I'd probably leave. So, who would be in a club that I could make leave rather than me leave?
Make someone leave.
Just be like, I don't want to be here with you. Who's still
Yeah,
going
but
to
why should they leave? They're in the prime of their life. They say, what are you doing here?
I'd like to bump into. Sure, the whole point is that we don't bump into. If we had like a 12B reunion in a club, that would be pretty epic.
I think someone like Santine would be really funny.
Muna.
I think Psy. Like, seeing Psy in a club, I'd be like, you know, getting down to some, like, bachelor or something like that. Like, I'd be like, Psy, good on you.
Of the students, I was going to say Muhammad Ali. Probably in the home, actually, because he'd immediately start talking about physics. In my comfort zone.
This is not an issue for me, I don't go to club.
I think I'd be fine if Maggie was in a club. That would be fine. I'd be like, Maggie!
If you were on a desert island, which student would you feed to the sharks to save yourself, and which would you trust to keep you alive?
But if I'm on a desert island, why do I need to feed sharks?
Yeah, so I think no students being fed to the sharks.
Well, sharks need food too. Dempsey would provide a good meal for the sharks. He wouldn't mind too much. Dempsey's really easy going, so I'll get rid of Dempsey.
Because there's kind of like annoyingness versus utility. I don't think there's anyone who would be useless. That's the thing.
But can we go back to the annoyance criteria?
Well, then there's just too many on the list. You know, it would be unfair.
I have an answer in mind though. Who would feed to the sharks? Maybe Aloe to the sharks.
He would make a lot of noise, act as structure, pretend he's getting eaten, and then after the ordeal, and you come back and be like, oh, hey, I noticed you tried to feed me to the sharks.
I know what I really think. I know what you're thinking.
I'm not sure if I can keep my job.
I mean, Reedman's quite tall.
You mentioned plenty of other good people. Would you probably lose him?
That would be sad.
I wouldn't feed anybody to the sharks.
No, I
To
totally
keep
agree
it
with
alive,
that.
I would not do that. I would let that go first.
Who would be useful
On a desert island.
They don't need to be an intellectual. I think Abu would claim that he would be the right choice, but I don't think he would be the right choice. I don't think any of our students have life skills.
I mean, man usually knows a lot about fresh fruit.
The physicists, they're good people. I don't pay as much attention to them though.
Well, they're fundamentally less important.
I mean, like Irina wouldn't be bad, actually. I think she'd be
Yes,
very good
yes,
at keeping you
yes.
alive.
Sammy.
She'd be very organised. She'd probably have the sharks on the sort of timetable or something.
Sammy would have like shelter built, We'd have running water by 2 o'clock.
Who in your year is good at cooking?
Remo.
I can cook.
Sean's pretty good at navigating.
And being in charge of walking, yeah, we'll keep her around.
I mean, I'm sure you'd all help. Maybe pick another person who's good at climbing, because then they could go and get coconuts. Or someone who's good at mechanics, so that they can build shelters and create pulley systems.
I know who's sensible. Doreen.
All of Crossword Club are quite a good choice. Sam, Jed, Orson, Shreemat. Well, Tabs has stopped coming.
I was going to choose Tab, but she's still come to red maths.
I reckon Sarvan would probably be good at saving people.
He's the most hardcore teacher and he's the most hardcore student.
Is the partridge?
Actually, underneath the softness of her persona, Miss Rebello.
Fair.
It's got to be Dan. Sheer number of hours worked in an average week.
So Toby does that as well.
Toby does
I
as
don't
well.
think Toby ever leaves.
We did Lawson's pretty hardcore.
Mr. Abramson butter. He's really hardcore on that butter.
Does put lots of butter
In,
on
like,
food
every food
and in
stuff.
coffee.
I reckon Mr. Abramson's the most hardcore.
Yeah.
He rehydrates nuts.
I mean, in terms of music, I think it's also Mr. Bennett.
But you listen to some pretty weird stuff too.
That's true. Yeah, but it's not metal.
You? PhD in that.
I'd probably say you for half the teachers are.
Don't drive a tractor, I don't know if that's a thing.
It might be me. It is more hardcore than me. No.
I think Mr. Jones is definitely the most hardcore teacher.
And Miss Burdett.
Most hardcore student. I don't know, difficult. I don't know. I don't feel like any of my students are particularly
I'm going to go Tabs.
Oh, good choice.
You really love maths. Like of
You
all of
love
them,
maths.
Of all of the students here, you might be the most into maths. And Dr. Chu for the same reason.
I mean, does it have to be Dr. Chu?
Nabiha is extremely hardworking. I've got Sean, Pablo, Riemann, Jed.
Probably the people that I've had to kick out the most times for staying here late.
Normally Nahome.
This might be a bit random. I'm going to say Nahome. Nahome's like here, like every night till like 7 o'clock, and he hasn't just done it during exam period. He's done it like all year. I mean, that could be because he wastes time like the rest of the day. I think that might be the case, but yeah, I'm impressed by his work ethic.
I don't want to pigeonhole people. Like Matilda, you could become one of our students.
Well, there's Sai. Sai is hard to beat.
Size up there.
Perhaps Isabel Howard.
Is it? Yeah.
Who's got a really good one, I think.
Our students aren't hardcore.
But like on the hardcore normal curve, they might just be one standard deviation from the mean. Could be an extreme for King's Maths School
For King's Maths School students.
Yeah.
Like, could you say, Wu Yang, you're hardcore? No, you couldn't. You know, Idris, I think, wants to be hardcore. Sorry, Idris. I love you, really. Next question.
The next question is just for you two. There is a website where people can rate teachers. I've chosen some from your previous school, and I'd like you to guess which teacher they're talking about.
Highgate.
Yeah, God.
That's going to Mr. Partridge.
No, it's you.
Yes.
You came well out of that.
A big hippie. He's okay, but I think he was brought up by a hippie camp in the Lake District.
That one's really easy. If that's about me, I'm very disappointed.
I'm a Northwest London Jew, I should say. I'm glad I came across that way.
Quality teacher. His lack of compassion is made up for by such a sarcastic sense of humour.
I suspect that might be me.
I think that probably is you.
You'll notice I'm not a tutor.
What a legend. Bear safe, doesn't mind if you don't bring in homework. Great teacher.
I have a feeling that's me. It's also just not true. I mean, the great teacher I'll take. Obviously safe. It's giving me from naughties.
Tightened up on the homework.
That's, I think so.
He's one of the best maths teachers, really knows his stuff. It would be nice if his expression changed once in a while.
I think that's John.
Gotta keep a poker face, it's important.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Welcome to the KCLMS Integral B!
Okay, right. So,
Wait, I thought we were doing it
together. I'm so confused. We're doing it together or is like plus? No shit, that's minus. What you can do is you can distribute the 2 inside of the 2, and it's 1 minus sine squared of 4y dy.
So we know from our hyperbolic function identities that
cos h squared y minus sin h squared y equals 1.
Fuck, I can't think of an idea.
But on simple division through by h, which obviously is not equal to 0, duh, but cos squared y minus sin squared y is 1 over 8.
You can complete the square.
You know that's just a difference of 2 squares.
Difference of 2 squares.
Yes.
That's what I meant.
Since in our integral we have a 2y instead of a y, we can just swap all the 2's and then put a 2h in there. It just works.
And then just do partial fraction decomposition plus sine 4y. We can just integrate that using ln.
And by a simple integration using a ln, we can get that this is equal to the ln of 2h.
And then, you've got to do a guess and check. So if you differentiate that, you get a cos on top. So you just divide by the cos, 4y.
Plus, of course, the constant.
And then you can't forget the plus c. Boom. Squared minus sine squared. We know a formula for that. It's 2x, right? I mean, if we turn them to hyperbolics, we need to exhale because they have, don't they? Cos squared 2y minus sine squared 2y. That is 1.
That is actually 1.
So it's 1 over 1.
If you rotate it, right, that is minus tau minus dy.
Yeah, that's
right?
correct. We can bring the dy to the other side, so minus tau is equal to dy.
You put the minuses together so it's not a minus anymore.
Oh yeah,
It's
so
a
you
plus.
have a plus. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. You can divide both sides by dx.
Integrate both sides. It's like separable in these.
Oh my gosh, yes it is! So we integrate this with respect to dy dx. What do we want our balance to be?
Pi and 10 pi.
The difference is 9 pi, and that makes sense because 9 pi is like 9 pi's. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pi's. Roughly equal to tau.
But we did relativity.
Yes! Oh my god, that is relativity. Right, so our final answer is going to be 0.
Who sent an email to Mr. Abramson with the word anal in it.
That's Danny Ash.
Abu or Dimitri for some reason.
Zane. That's thing. Who's tactics?
Abu?
Miles?
I definitely should know that. It's either Danny Ash or no. I actually think it was Danny Ash.
Intentionally or?
Can't remember who it was.
Danny Ash.
Was it Danny Ash? Danny
Of course
Ash's
it was.
email etiquette had a lot of work needed.
Danny.
I think he's improved. I've had emails from him which are much better.
I mean, it's not to get much worse.
How many digits of pi can you recite?
5, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5. That's all I've got.
That's how
3.
3.14159.
3.14159.
Oh, see, I can't even do that.
Oh, goodness. 3.142. That's about as far as I go.
3.142.
Oh, come on. Not 2. 3.14151.
3.1415927.
3.14159.
I hope more than 2.
3.1415926.
3.1415926. I could give you 3.14.
So 3.141592653.
I basically just approximated it as 3.
What song best describes our year group?
You know, like the Monty Python song, Always Look on the Sunny Side of Life.
We Will Rock You, because it starts off quite slow and quite purposeful, and then it builds up to this crescendo at 4 o'clock when you all start to, tear the place down.
Probably one of the popular tracks of High School Musical.
I've only taught mechanics with this year group. There's something about moments. A moment like
I
this.
don't think there's a song. I think it would just be Abu loudly singing words.
So if it was like about some of the more annoying students, I'd be like that Baby Shark song.
What's something you've heard someone say that's made you laugh the most?
Probably around P5 mechanics. Haytham, you just made a completely inappropriate joke. Something to do with pauses and misplaced commas.
I can't put a finger on kind of one specific thing, but because Haytham is now in my form group, basically every morning I come in, there's some other kind of funny comment, and the latest thing that kind of he and Sam talk about and trying to get me to is subscribe to PewDiePie, but I have no interest.
On the subject of Haytham, the infamous high five as well. But you gave a teacher a high five, and just kind of went like that, and then just sort of held on for a long time. It just got awkward.
Probably hate them. Oh god, so many. So he had the KCL people from Sexpressions come in, and in checkout he was like, I learned about flavoured condoms. Why don't they just make condoms that are Bender's mash flavoured? Or like fried chicken? And he wasn't one of them.
I don't think I'm going to get anywhere close to that.
I still can't. Yassif this year, for Ragwood, we were trying to think of activities that are fun to do. Well, first of all, he asked me, Miss, where can we buy feces? At which point, I think I said, what? And he said, feces means poo. And then he explained that what we could do is we could buy lots of feces, and students could pay to throw them at the form.
It was probably something Zen said. I can't remember anything specific.
I don't know, probably just any time anyone said de broccoli wavelength. That's pretty good.
Abu, he denied playing football when he had clearly been playing football, and he has done that several times to me this year.
Jagdeep. And Jagdeep's excuses for being late, many varied and wonderful excuses, like I had to go to the sweet shop to buy it away to registration.
I'm not sure this is the right question. No one really is that funny.
I can't remember what it is, but I'm convinced that Orson regularly has me in stitches, but I don't think it's necessarily intentional. I'm not crediting him. We did like a rec maths problem that cropped up as one of his Cambridge interview questions, and he was just, it was something to the effect of like, which was fortunate. I was like, yes, it was. It was very flatly stated.
Someone once told me that it's not okay for your mum to see a boy's hand on your bum.
We're recently doing the DE's presentations and just having, who was it, Jono, describing the data as trash. That made me chuckle.
Well, I was telling Tabs about how last week Nahum asked whether Mr. Partridge was leaving to go back into the framing business. What? Did he say that in words?
Got a big scratch across it.
Is that for the frame? Did you know that Mr. Partridge is a professional framer?
Ex-professional picture framer.
An ex-professional picture framer.
Did he say that in words?
Ex-professional picture framer.
In words?
Picture framer.
What's your favourite and funniest memory?
I guess at the time it wasn't funny, but I can now appreciate. No, I can't say that.
Like, probably just coming out of the staff room and seeing a hole in the wall.
Idris's face after he punched a hole in the wall.
That's what I was thinking before. And I was like, I don't think I'm ready to say that yet. That cost a lot of money, but he did look quite funny.
Do you know what? Because I'm new at this school, I've never, in my teaching career, I've been teaching 10 years now, seen a year group, year 13, on the last day of term, I want to do further mathematics. The buzz around the school, the competition, the kind of teamwork, and everybody getting into the vibe bit. Not Christmas, maths. I thought was amazing. And I just thought, where in the world is like this on the last day of Christmas?
Who was it who said shit in the assembly?
I don't think I was in this assembly.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny to tell you. Just like, he just said it so loudly, and then he was just like, oh no! And it was just hysterical.
I have nothing. You're not funny.
One of my favourites will be William's standing in assembly to give the announcements that have not been verified.
William just taking my job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone applauding him more than you ever get applauded.
There's got to be some from core maths class for me. I remember one where year 13 class, near the beginning of the year, where I didn't know people very well, and I covered, I think it was one of your lessons, one of the core lessons. I did integral, forgot to put the plus C, and they just hissed at me. It's like, oh my gosh, this is really a maths school. It made me simultaneously embarrassed and very, very pleased with the students.
Who lost the phone? The chaos that ensued.
The one behind the lockers.
It had me, the number of people who were determinedly trying to get that mobile
without
phone.
any success whatsoever.
And all the meter rules were being put together to get them out. They were all over the place. I just couldn't believe it.
At the end of last term or the end of last year, people climbed on top of the lockers to go behind them to get things out that had fallen down the back.
I mean, finding people in strange places at 7:30, right, in school, that's always quite amusing, isn't it? Room 9, right, is one. Okay, people hide in room 9 now, even though you're just about to set an alarm. Someone creeps out. Just, oh, right, by the way, I forgot my coat in the main building. That was Sam, actually. Excuses for staying in school, right, beyond hours is one of the funny things about this place. I mean, most schools, people just get out as quickly as possible. This school, people want to stay all night. Yeah. So how much you love school, that's one of the funny things.
Yes.
My favourite thing was when last year loads of you agreed to go bowling. When you did that, I was like, oh, that's really good. Like, you're a good, year group.
I think my favourite thing is the birthday cake tradition, with birthday cakes being for everyone. I like that.
Basically, almost everyone we told big, it was just really cool. And the fact we just smashed the tutor competition, peach pie as well, that was good.
I don't have a specific kind of moment, but I think the general, you call it banter. The acceptance of kind of jokes and the ribbing. Even when I do say in lesson, you can choose any data to use with this programme. Any kind of football team in the Premier League apart from Arsenal, which riled up a lot of people, including Dan Cash.
I think definitely one of my favourite memories is Tabs you doing the 7th through. That's great. I was so proud.
Your reg maths protege.
Exactly.
Yeah. My favourite, one of my favourites is when Manu should be exploring fractals and started an impromptu talk which actually drew in an audience. And by the time he finished, there was Mr. Lawson was trying to figure out what his spreadsheet did, and there were all sorts of people standing around.
Oh,
that was quite fun.
That's really nice. Funniest. There's a lot that happens that I can't tell you. That's the sad thing here. They're not funny. It's not usually funny. It's usually very serious.
But we discuss them and laugh.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You can be reassured of that at least.
Which student do you think has the most similarities to Netflix shows to you?
So I don't have Netflix.
I don't watch Netflix. I think it's a waste of time.
Netflix is like over your 2-hour limit TV a day.
Who do you think doesn't have Netflix?
Can't imagine Sai being into Netflix. I don't know. I can't imagine Josh having the patience to watch Netflix.
I don't watch a lot of sci-fi. Love science fiction's alright as well, but just something unrealistic about it. That's why it's called fiction. It's just a bit too implausible. I know that sounds ridiculous.
Probably you, Tabs, Love Island and all that.
I don't watch Netflix. It's kind of very dry comedy is kind of what I'm into.
Tan here, because I bet you he's watched the Formula 1 documentary. Someone like Benson.
Like some strange, it's like going to be a weird mixture of taste of you, Maggie, Benser, and Nahome. I don't know what that makes up together.
So the most recent things I've watched on Netflix are climbing films.
Pablo.
Stonewall's very good.
I'm going to go with something really random. I'm going to say that me and Mandy have a very similar taste in Netflix shows. She just keeps it quiet.
I'm gonna go Joe Hatley.
It's definitely not Muna. Serial killers, people who abduct their, neighbour's teenage daughter.
Sure, no, I'm not into that. I've only watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine actually. That's probably just quite a generic thing.
Pretty much that.
Holy fuck. Welcome. Now, what is an infinity but a 1/0? And what is a pi but a root g by the g equals pi squared approximation?
Right, we have to do this by parts.
Yes, we do. So, we've got u. We're just gonna plonk that very thick stuff here.
I think the next thing we should do with integer is cancel the e with the learn. Because as we all know, e and learn cancel out due to that being inverse functions. So what you can do is just cross that and then put a -1 over there.
V dash, which is e to the minus pi sec squared x.
V is just the same thing as that, because it's e. So that's
yes, e is just the same thing. What is an x squared but a integral of a third x cubed? Oh wait, shit, no, never mind. Of 2x. So now we can do a double integral going from root g to 1/0. Differentiating that's ln 3, you've got 2x, ln backwards is NL3 on that way, whatever.
And due to our knowledge of the trig identity, we know that sec squared x minus 1 is 0 for all values of x. So x e to the minus 1.
That should be a double integral.
dx, dx.
dx, dx.
Right.
So now we have uv minus the integral of that times that.
Nice.
2x over NL and L3.
But wait.
That's actually a vector, isn't it?
We need to pick an object on NL3. What do we want to
An
pick?
NL3 on...
Let's do a mug.
No, a mug, yes.
Let's do a mug.
Now we integrate this twice. X squared e plus c dx of 1 over 0 and root g.
Let's do it up because we're always thinking positive these days.
Integrate this one more time, which will give us e squared x cubed plus... Since this is a constant, its integral is obviously just another constant.
The e just cancels out, so that's fine. UV is like UV light.
Oh my god,
right.
yes!
Right. UV is just C.
But since I've taken this 1 and made it 2, we need to double the limit on that. So instead of 1 over 0, we'll have 2 over 0.
Come to the conclusion, if we do some really cool maths, E equals mc squared.
Instead of the square root of g, we'll have the cube root of e.
You've got your very own KCLMS mug over here, which there we go. The answer to the integral.
We plug in our initial condition. So, what is a 2 squared over 0 squared times e squared, but a 1 over 0 and ln of that plus c, right? And then we take away e squared times cube root of e squared minus c, and the c's cancel out.
Plus C. And because C is light, we actually have a rainbow. So
There we go.
that is actually the answer.
The answer, rainbow mug.
KCLMS plus C, yes.
This is roughly equal to the same thing. So these cancel out. So the integral is just 0.
Whoa, mind blown.
Okay, now we're going to ask you some who's most likely to questions. So, who's most likely to become a teacher?
Josh.
Manoj.
Riemann.
Riemann.
Maggie.
Oh, I can imagine Samara being a teacher.
Canva.
Daniel Batchford.
He's most likely to go on Jeremy Kyle.
That would be Sammy.
Samara again.
Jagdeep.
Abba and Orson.
Most of the ones who play football.
Bjorn.
He's most likely to take other people's milk at university.
For a start, I think we should take like beer rather than
Bethel.
Danny, Ash.
Yash.
Ato. Joe Gavin.
Yasif.
Mandy and Imogen.
Who's most likely to be convicted of tax evasion?
Evan.
Miles.
Spencer.
William.
Like Brendan, just
Sarvan.
Maybe Jagdeep.
Yasif. Weeman.
Who's most likely to be the first to leave STEM?
Jacob.
Muna.
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 Can't see any you leave them.
Nobody.
Or maybe
Massive.
Jacob.
Possibly Imogen.
Innie.
Sam's probably
Really young.
Who's most likely to look for their glasses when they're already on their face?
Spencer. He doesn't even wear glasses, but still.
Almost certainly Louis.
Science.
Maybe Josh Ann again.
Maybe Josh.
William or Josh Ann.
Casey.
Nick.
What's the best gossip you've heard about our year group?
I don't think I'm the same.
I don't think I've heard any.
I'm not going to tell you the best or the worst or anything in the middle.
I think it's safe to assume Miss Robinson has heard all of it.
Oh, you could not repeat it.
It's not good.
We probably know more about your lives than you think. Also, probably know more about your lives than we want to.
That's for sure.
Probably like partying and drinking.
See, I have accidentally become a hub for gossip. And I seem to find out the romantic comings and goings of pretty much the entire year group. So I think following your year group's love lives like a weird, twisted soap opera is probably the best gossip.
Let's just say we have discussed the hole in the wall.
Who in our year reminds you of yourself the most?
Maybe Brendan a bit. But Brendan's just such a nice guy. Like, he's just great.
Brendan and Shane. Also, they're far better at maths than I was.
And that's the
That
thing,
goes a
like,
lot.
you guys are different leagues to the
Yeah.
sort of competition level at that age. Where you going?
In terms of like fascination and geekery, Jed is a lot like me. Dempsey, a lot like me as well.
See, I'd like to think I'm going to be her, but I don't reckon I was as studious as would be her. I reckon I'm probably an innie.
Someone like Joe Hatley, I try to be kind. I think Joe's very kind.
Probably at home, which is probably why he annoys me so much when I have to cheat at work.
Still most similar to Natasha.
Yeah.
We are like scarily the same person.
Obviously, I was like quietly studious, hardworking, not too chatty. I'm going to go with Srinath.
I know, I was like probably quite annoying.
You have to think how you're going to end this
I
sentence.
know. I had a lot to prove, but I thought I could prove it.
We all know who you've described there.
What are you thinking?
I couldn't possibly comment.
And I was like really into maths. He's not really like me, but a little bit like Riemann. The nice elements of Riemann and the nice elements of me were the same. Let's put it that way.
Good comeback.
Thanks.
I was a bit mopey when I was 18.
Just sat around playing these games.
So, Jackie?
Sure.
I'm trying to think of some answers, but basically, the people that I'm thinking of are like cooler than me.
You want to be tapped, didn't you?
I was basically like, could it be that? I was like, no, they're too cool.
For me, it's probably Brendan, actually. Very quiet, you know. Highly intelligent, of course.
Possibly so, actually.
What's your favourite Tuscan meal deal?
Don't do Tuscan, they'll do is cook all our own food.
You know, maybe some kind of wrap with, you know, a bit of carrot cake. And a nice orange juice. Great.
Tesco don't do good meal deals. You've got to go to Sainsbury's or Marks and Spencer's.
Don't like sandwiches or pasta, so that's kind of out. Sauce.
I quite like the tomato and feta pasta. Yeah, I don't get too many meal deals. I like cooking my own food. Other stuff please me because I bring in lots of soups. Don't know why that's funny, but there we are. Because you put them in a bag. Okay, for only one reason. Yeah.
I live way beyond the Tesco meal deal these days. What do you go for?
I always have cheese and ham sandwich, Coke, Twix.
A bag of cashews and a bag of raisins.
Then you put them together.
Put them together.
There you go.
Or loaf of
1,200
bread,
calories.
jar of peanut butter, jar of jam. That's Tesco.
It's much better at cooking than I am.
Honestly, just like whatever the biggest like sandwich is that costs more than £3. Anyway, like when there's a sandwich that costs more than £3 on its own, and then it's in the meal deal for £3. Like to be honest, that just does it for me. With like crisps and cheese. But yeah.
Well, nowadays, because I have to be like healthy, because I don't have the good metabolism as used to, go for like the strawberry and grape thing. It's really specific, isn't it? Or mango, because why not? With wrap and fizzy water, because I gave up Diet Coke because I drank too much.
The prawn mayonnaise sandwich.
Sorry, what bread?
Bread. The small pot of fruit, but the one with either the apple slices or the grapes. And then drink probably just the largest bottle of water that's in the current meal deal.
It's so tragic. Like, when did we get so tragic? So. It used to be all about like sort of fried chicken or like just pizza.
So you should get a Tesco meal deal. We should get Sainsbury's.
Yeah, the one from Sainsbury's.
The one. Single one.
There's like one decent sandwich that doesn't have meat in it.
That's not even part of the meal deal.
So we can use the approximation that we've learned from our engineer friend. We can replace the zero with the difference between pi and e.
E is approximately 3, so this is 2e ln pi squared.
And 2t cubed plus 1. Well, obviously due to the binomial theorem, that's just 2 plus t all cubed plus 1.
We've got lots of square pies, and it's full of lots of e's.
We're going to do a u substitution. T is nothing but a sign of a B emoji.
In engineering, we call matrices number squares.
And now we take the derivative of both sides. Times that by the integral of B with respect to t.
Because it's a pi times e over 420, because we lost that there, unfortunately.
It's just a real B. You just draw a real B.
That's actually a vector, those were 3 separate ones, but the 0 doesn't matter.
The plus 1 we can cancel because we know obviously this bumblebee and there's only one of it, obviously.
Doesn't pi e equal g?
Oh yeah, oh my god, it does!
It does!
And g is 9.
Plus or minus E minus pi, with a big B coming after it. That's abdomen, wings, and this is right.
So that's just 9 over 42 because the 0 doesn't count.
We can make some dodgy approximations. Big B is basically equal to this. B is also the electromagnetic field strength. We've got
A 3, a 2, and a T. Oh my
gosh, we could do 3 over 2.
KT.
We could do it, and that's approximately KT.
Small values.
You know from physics that B equals FQV. These are approximately the same, so they just cancel out.
That's a bus shelter. What's the nearest bus stop to us again?
That one. 259.
59 to King's Cross.
Yeah.
Ooh, well, I'm not sure where to go next with this small angle approximation, given that sine x is approximately equal to x.
So we had G's in the limits. Yeah, those G's there cancel out.
Since we know 6 to the 9 is just a of 9 to the 6, what's 9 to the 6? 54. And what's 4 to the 20? Other than 20 times 4. What's that? That's 420.
And the cross is just a cross.
2 can stay. But sine of FQV will just be FQV.
So we know that the answer is 2 plus big B squared on 2 from 420 to 54.
That K cancels out with that K, that T cancels out with that T.
And now we can come up with a physical interpretation for that as being the Riemann sum of the amount of moments added when you add up all the masses, trying to work out the center of mass of. I was going to say Mr. Partridge's head.
That's a 0, but we can't divide by 0. Oh no, there must be some sort of a weird thing going on.
The physical interpretation of that is just taking the center of mass of a big B from the B movie and working out where the center of mass is.
To take the train to Hogwarts, obviously. So, and because you're dividing by 0, that's basically magic.
Every time they say B, it gets faster. We can conclude that the distance of the center of mass from the B's thick booty to its mouth is just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Pi to the power of 69.
Hatham's constant.
That is basically magic.
Magic?
Done. Yes.
Epic.
What's the best classroom?
If I was to teach physics and I have to be in a lab, definitely not this one, the other one. It's bigger, tidier for some reason. For teaching, room 6 or room 9, because of the amount of whiteboards around the room.
Not room 3. Yeah, not 3. That's what my first thought was too. Room 5 is pretty good.
Room 5.
Oh, I mean, there's only one right answer.
6.
Room
6 is the best.
It's
room
by
4
far
is
best. It's objectively the best.
Room 4 is the one that I teach in most, so I
Room
feel
4's
like
terrible.
that's. Room 4 is objectively terrible. It's always messy and
like-
it smells weird and.
Yeah.
But it's
There's
mine.
The doors are weird. People like burst through the doors randomly. And
Yeah, but it's like I really don't like teaching in room 5 just because it's not room 4.
room 5's horrible as well. It's like it's off in the corner and you
Also,
know.
there's no windows in the ceiling, which just feels weird.
Yeah, room 6.
Room 4 has good natural light. I think that's what it's got going for it.
Well, room 7 also.
And for me, room 8. Not room 7. Mr. Benny, I have a difference of opinion.
Room 6 for
Room
sure is
6.
the best classroom. Yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
But as you've noted, that as the timetabeler just pushes us wherever is necessary. We don't get consistency. We don't get our favourites.
I teach in room 6 a lot.
I have a 6 or 9. I go 6 because it's new.
I'm going to go room 3.
Okay.
I'm going to go room 3.
Controversial.
Part because it's that formal room, but also it's half of kind of rooms 3 and 4, which when you open it up, it's like the super space.
It doesn't have enough board space though. There's not much.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. Like this one, because I'm normally in it, or the other one.
Not any of the physics rooms, even to teach physics in. Room 2's alright. I kind of warmed to the hall, but the projector issues in the hall make it not the best.
Terrible.
Even when you have chalk pens, but if you're trying to write with chalk, it's definitely not the hall because chalk sucks.
I basically only teach
Room
in
9's
room
pretty
4.
good.
Room 9 is pretty good.
Room 9, yeah.
But I'm partial to room 4 because that's literally the only place I teach.
Room 9 would definitely be the best if you could let students write on all of the large windows with whiteboard pens.
Definitely, definitely.
We have some who would win in a fight questions. The first one is who would win in a fight between Mr. Abramson and Mr. Lawson?
I mean, I feel like I've got to back the boss just for, career reasons.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like Mr. Abramson's tough,
Yeah, no, I believe that. I feel like Mr. Lawson's got a bit of a ruthless streak. Not ruthless, but like.
I think we could. I think it would be close.
It would be close.
But I think Mr. Abramson probably knows like secret moves.
Like those ones.
Those ones, yeah.
Okay,
He's got one of these. One of these.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll probably go down.
I think Mr. Abramson, right, actually. Again, experience would be telling in that case. I'm saying that, because he's my boss, right?
Mr. Abramson.
Oh, that's really hard. Probably Mr. Lawson, just. They'll be in tough fight. They're both like wiry.
Yeah, I'd probably say Mr. Lawson as well. I can imagine them kind of wanting to fight and then doing some climbing for a bit, and then go, okay, right, we're warmed up and we're going to have a fight, and then kind of Mr. Lawson reminding him, saying, you've done a lot of skiing, you've done a lot of things.
Yeah, it's fragile.
You want to just be careful of, and then I think at that point we're saying to them, okay, I'm going to concede the fight. We're not actually going to have a fight.
I reckon neither of them would win. I think they would if they had to fight, they would start fighting and then it would just descend into a debate. I think they would end up talking it out.
Mr. Lawson. Remember Mr. Abramson when we first started in Hunger Games? He's just a target, isn't he? We could all muster up rage if we're fighting Mr. Abramson.
Honestly, can't imagine that happening.
I know, me neither.
That is.
I think Mr. Lawson could.
That might be you. I wouldn't fight.
Such a boring answer.
Mr. Abramson. Don't get me wrong, Mr. Lawson. Mr. Lawson is strong. He can climb harder than me, but I'm probably more violent when it's necessary. You learn certain things as being a head teacher, and sometimes people just won't with you. I mistake word.
Who would win in a fight between P1 and P5?
I'd go P1.
I'm not sure about that. I think P5.
Okay.
Definitely P5, right? They walk at. They would walk in any physical fight. Right?
P5 wins because it's got some very, very strong-willed individuals in there, including Tabs.
P5.
5.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. I'm going to say P1.
P1.
There's some people who do like martial arts to a very high level.
Oh yeah, P1 has Natasha. And Zindy, so if you're allowed to make weapons.
And also, people like Evan, I've seen some pretty good fights between him and Natasha. In MMA! They were strictly regulated.
Is there anyone really good in P1? P5, I reckon Srinath's tough.
He's either not at all or very quietly.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
gonna
One or
punch you in
two.
the face. I don't know.
Does P5 got Maggie in it?
Yeah.
I reckon Maggie's tough.
Maggie can organise stuff, can't she? So.
P5.
I'm going to go with P1.
Who would win in a fight, Miss Saundry or Miss McNeil?
Miss McNeil.
Oh no.
You don't think so?
No, I've got my laundry against most people.
I mean, that'd be a bit of a tough fight. That's tough to call.
Brutal.
Yeah.
I think probably Miss Saundry.
You reckon?
I think so. Miss McNeil occasionally, shows hints of compassion.
Oh, she's very compassionate. You're right. You're right.
Miss Saundry.
Oh, Miss Saundry.
But yeah, it's Miss Saundry.
I don't think Miss McNeil will be bad about that. I think that's just objective truth.
I think knowing the two of them, I think Miss Saundry, is pretty tough.
Yes.
I mean, I would like to take I would fight.
Yes.
Against Miss Saundry, to be quite honest. I think she'd beat me up right.
Yeah, I think Miss McNeil would be too nice.
I'll go with Miss McNeil.
Why?
Gut feeling.
Miss McNeil is far too nice. Miss Saundry, I think, has an edge, and she can bring it out. She needs to do the karate moves.
Saundry.
Who would win in a fight between all the students at KCLMS and the printer?
The printer.
The printer.
Yeah, at the moment.
Every time.
The printer, 100%.
Yeah.
Many people have just given up hope in front of the printer.
Yeah, I think that despair would win.
printer would win.
Oh, the printer would definitely win.
The printer beats everybody.
Oh, the printer. Like, the printer has just defeated everyone.
It would just switch off, protect itself, and then just switch back on again the next day when everyone walked away.
The printer.
It'd be very tough. Probably the printer just.
I'm very confused. The printer's always breaking down. The printer wins.
I mean, the printer's not lasting long anyway. I hope you win.
But it's a psychological battle every time.
Which teacher would you like to have been roommates with at uni?
Mr. Bello.
That was a very quick answer.
Yeah, we work on stats together. We have a nice time. Now it sounds like, you know, I work on mechanics with Mr. Bennett. I'm like, sorry, Mr. Bennett, I didn't choose you.
I don't really do well with roommates.
That's not really an answer.
No, it's not.
There must be a least bad option.
Well, I mean, I think Dr. Chew.
Dr. Chew.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd make you rocky roads.
I think he'd keep very different hours to me, Dr. Chew. I think
so?
In student mode, I think he does.
He does a lot of all-nighters.
A lot of all-nighters, so you get, you know.
So I said you could just
you
take the space in the daytime.
Exactly, yeah.
Mm.
But there would also be chocolate and biscuits and all sorts of things. Yeah.
Yep.
Dr. Chew. You can't, like, imagine how great it would have been to have Dr. Chew as your roommate. I'm pretty sure everyone's going to say that as well.
Who's fun? Who's fun?
You're fun, Mr. Bello.
Who do you think would be able to deal with, like, my desk, but in a whole room?
I think we could have dealt with each other.
Okay. Can we actually just do that? Please cut it out.
Probably Dr. Chew. I think we get on really well with Dr. Chew. Or co-tutors for one thing, you know. A lot of things in common, a lot of interests in common.
I'd probably quite like to have been Miss Burdett. I think I'd have learnt a lot from her.
Probably Mr. Lawson, because we were basically roommates last year when we shared an office. We spent many hours in the office. So we got to know each other pretty well. Or Mr. Bennett would be a good lad, I reckon, as well. And he would do sport with me. So that's good too.
I'd be interested to see what would that with Mr. Bello, because we were both at Imperial, but we just missed each other in terms of years of study there. So it'd be interesting if we had the same experiences and how we found it. So I think that would be really interesting to see.
No, maybe Mr. Lawson.
Do you know it has to be Mr. Abramson? Because I know he's as much a geek as I am. And we would have had really good arguments about maths versus physics, you know? I could see he would have, because I know a lot of mathematicians from uni as well, and they're always on their high horse about us physicists doing poor mathematics and sloppy mathematics, and I know we would have had good debates, you know, about mathematics and physics and talking about our geeky stuff all into the night. Come on, Mr. Abramson.
Miss McNair would be quite fun, I think. She would be fun. Mr. Bello and Mr. Bennett both had some amusing stories. It would have been interesting to see them back in the day.
Do you have any closing remarks?
Not really.
Good luck in the future. Most of you won't need it.
That was, like, nice. I thought you were going to say
It was just very pointed.
Oh, I got it now. Don't do maths at parties at uni, it's not cool.
Yeah, that's actually really good advice. I haven't realised that.
Please, like, it's not cool.
Don't
to
admit to
differentiate.
anyone that you did an integration bee for fun.
I've got to go do outreach. In fact, I should have been there like 10 minutes ago. It's 5:05.
Oh my god, you're late.
I'm late.
Have
you got a good start?
Closing statements. I would say, as a closing statement, you are in the top 3 year groups I've taught at KCLMS.
You close, you're maybe like top. Maybe
Top 4? Top 4. Top 4 year groups I've taught at KCLMS.
How many year groups have there been?
4.
I think there have been 5, but I only taught the first. Maybe top 4. Top 5 overall, definitely. Definitely top 5 KCLMS cohorts. 100%.
They were right, weren't they?
Yeah, you've been alright. You haven't all horribly failed us.
Yeah.
I think for you lot, be your wonderful selves. Do great.
Yeah.
You will. You've been a fantastic year group. I think.
Yeah.
I think we sort of get well, I mean, all year groups have been pretty good, but you lot have stood out. Apparently because you're really big. Not physically, but just lots of you. Your work ethic has been fantastic. It's been absolutely amazing. And, you know, like your sort of joy of learning has been just such a wonderful thing to experience.
You're also quite a nice, united, homogenous.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you pull together well, which I really like. Yes, doesn't feel like there's many who are out on the fringes, which I like.
Thank you very much.
Keep together. Be a team right through this.
Good luck with all your endeavours. No, that's good. I mean, he's been a great year group, and yeah, we saw his missed. Yeah, it's been really fun to see you guys, and yeah, it's the first year group I haven't taught quant to actually, which is weird and quite sad. But I've really enjoyed teaching mechanics to you guys, and yeah, it's been really good.
Yeah, I'll say like kind of to contrast Mr. Jones' you're the first year group where I've taught you in year 12 and I've taught some of you a bit in year 13 because normally I don't teach year 13s, so that's been kind of really nice.
And also, like as a head of department, you're just so much less stressed than the previous year because you just like do really well. So it's good. Because we're a lot less aggro, which is great.
One bit of advice on that, when you get to university, you don't need to spend loads of money on textbooks. There are, let's say, various websites where you can get access to things and your personal tutor or your other supervisor might tell you about them. So make use of them to help you save a bit of money. Okay. And especially if your personal tutor or supervisor is using them, then you know they're okay. You can trust them.
Advice for you as well, don't do yard Guinness. Bad times.
It has been wonderful getting to know this year group. Real pleasure working with you all for UCAS in particular. I know it was a total slog to get through, but I really wish everybody the best. I know you will all do yourselves proud in the summertime and you do exceptionally well in the summer and get all the best offers and the best outcomes possible. And really have the best future. You know, at a school like this, it's really a privilege to work here with students that are passionate about something that you all are, which is lovely. So, well done and good luck.
It's been a fun year. I think, yeah, it's been my first year here, obviously, so I don't know you guys for as long, but everyone has been very welcoming, which is really nice to have as a new teacher. So I guess I joined the school at the same time as you guys as well, and I've enjoyed my time here, and I hope you have as well. And I'm really excited to see some of the stuff you go on and do in the future. Yeah.
This is one of the few year groups I've taught, year 12 and year 13. So
what did you teach?
One of my favourite year groups on that basis.
13. What do I teach this year? 13 mechanics.
Yes.
That's weird. I want to make this point actually. It's because I don't teach very much. All students think that I am either a statistician or a part-time mechanics teacher, but that neither of those things are true. I could teach core maths. I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
So my finishing comments, I'm going to last comment. One of my finishing comments is I can teach core sometimes. Actually quite I'm mainly a core mathematician.
Tell it to Mr. James.
It's true. Yeah.
And make the time to do it.
That's what I thought. Yeah. So you've taught them both years?
I've taught them both years.
Yeah.
Taught core all the way through.
Yeah.
Some people left my set at the end of year 12, which is, very sad.
It was really sad. I want to come back.
Some people joined my set at the start of year 13. They're much happier this year.
Yes.
Some people have stuck it out all through the 2 years, seem to have survived.
As a year group, a really great year group, you've got so many strong characters.
Possibly in the top 2.
I reckon top 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty good going.
Not bad.
Yeah, you're about to become alumni. This is a rare honour. It's an honour that's been bestowed on only maybe 200 people in the past.
True, yeah.
In the whole of the
it's
university.
a very select group.
Yeah. And what we're saying is you immediately elevate yourselves to in the upper echelons, the upper quartile of that alumni crew. We're actually having an all-year alumni event coming up. You're not welcome yet because there's alcohol, and that's not allowed yet because you're still school. But next year, and so great year group. I was worried the maths bomb crown was lost for a year. You know, that didn't go very well in year 12. But this year it has been retained.
We sorted it out.
Yeah, everything's put back into place. Enormously successful academically as a year group, but also enormously fun. Good vibe. You know, we've had some dodgy year groups at King's Maths School occasionally. You know what? You've rescued the feel of the school. We feel like ourselves again, and it's thanks to you.
Do I have to sit through this again at Levers? Or are you going to make a different speech for that? Or are you just like dress rehearsing?
Well, it depends what Taz puts in the cuts and puts in the video.
Okay.
Because I'll not say the same things again.
Okay. Fine.
If you're going to come.
Well, I might. But I have sat through a lot of your speeches over the years.
Yeah.
Possibly I hold the record.
That's probably true.
When we did not know the answer.